give you the crown of life. Hallelujah. 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 The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. While some people were speaking about how the temple was adorned with costly stones and votive offerings, Jesus said, "All that you see here, the days will come when there will not be left a stone upon another stone that will not be thrown down." Then they asked him, "Teacher, when will this happen? And what sign will there be when all these things are about to happen?" He answered, "See that you not be deceived, for many will come in my name, saying, 'I am he,' and 'the time has come.' Do not follow them. When you hear of wars and insurrections, do not be terrified, for such things must happen first, but it will not immediately be the end." Then he said to them, "Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be powerful earthquakes, famines, and plagues from place to place, and awesome sights and mighty signs will come from the sky." The Gospel of the Lord. Today in the Gospel, Jesus is speaking to the people listening to him about the end of the world. And what he uses is the temple in Jerusalem, which represents the whole universe. And so he says, one day, that's going to all fall down. That's all going to crumble and break apart. And what Jesus meant for them was that one day, this entire universe will be no more. And so the apostles asked him a very important question. When will this happen? I think if all of us were there, we would ask Jesus, right? We want to know, okay, you telling us the end of the world will come. Tell us, when will it happen? Notice Jesus doesn't give a direct answer. He just says that when you see that there are wars and earthquakes and famines and signs in the sky, then you know the end is coming. But he says, don't be scared. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear about this stuff, wars and famines and signs in the sky that aren't normal, that's a little scary to me. So what does Jesus mean by don't be scared? In this last part of the church's year, so we are in the last week of the liturgical year, and then this next weekend we're going to begin Advent. And so you're going to hear about, we've been hearing about a lot about the end of our lives and the end of the world. But Jesus says, don't be scared. Don't be scared if you're prepared all the time. Don't be scared if you're doing the right thing. Don't be scared if you've been following his commandments. Don't be scared if you've been following God all this time and trying to be obedient to him. You have nothing to be afraid of. That's what Jesus is telling us. Now, if you are scared, if you fear something, then maybe God is telling you, think about what you're doing. Are you living a life for Christ? Are you living a life to show God and to show others that God is most important in your life now? Because if he's not most important in your life now, don't fool yourself. he's not going to be most important in your life for eternity. And so Jesus is telling us, if you're using your time wisely now, you have nothing to be afraid of. Even though there's wars going on, even though there's famines and earthquakes going on all around us, if you're following God now, if you're living the life showing that God is the most important in your life now, then you have nothing to be afraid of. But if you are afraid, then maybe God is trying to tell you, look at your own life and what needs to change. Are you living your life that God is most important now? Because if he is not most important to you now, he won't be most important to you in eternity.